Okay, so I've got to share it. Hey. One minute. Okay. Do you know what? I fucking hate technology. Hey Moonshot 2020, are you alright, Tony? Sorry guys. Would you do me a favour? Will you just go and share this on Twitter for me? Because guess what? All the links I put out are now incorrect. Does it work if I... Oh shit. Orientation is locked. Sorry. How do I manage to... Hey Belly, how you doing? Cinema mode. No, don't want that one. What have I done? No. Do it that. No, not do it that way either. Give me. No, don't want that one either. Oh, for God's sake! I fucking hate technology. Where is my live chat? The live chat's gone. Sorry guys. Bear with me. You know what I'm like with technology. That's it. Yeah, I'm good. I'm stressed because they've changed the way that they do the YouTubes. So that's twice now. I've tried to go live on the laptop. The laptop's there. I set it all up. I did it in time. And then what happens? Yeah, Zerp's coming on this one. Yeah, and then technology just goes wrong and I'm crap and I'm shitting myself now because I'm off to uni in September. Me, 51 years old, going to uni to learn media and I can't even work out how to use YouTube. So, yeah, it doesn't bode well, does it? Hey, you alright, Justin? Good hodlers, I like that. Let me just go and drop that to Twitter. Can't log into Twitter because it's on my other phone and I haven't got the phone here for the authentication code. So why go back to school? I'll be well off in the future. Hello Scully. Why go back to school? Because I want to learn how to do this stuff. You know, it's hey David. It's really difficult because I am technologically challenged. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Talk to anyone that knows me. Tiny says it really well. You know, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. But I want to learn how to do this. Hey Patsy, yeah, drive safely, honey. I really want to learn how to do this. So I sat there and thought, well, I can go on course after course after course. And you're in. Cheers, Chris. Happy birthday for yesterday. Bill, if I don't actually take the time out to do this, I'm never ever going to be able to do it. And the thing is, I'm a member of Love for Crypto, so I need to be able to do this stuff, because at the moment, poor old Scotty is holding up the whole of Love for Crypto on his own, and it's not fair. And I've got to have something to do with my time on remote. Yeah. So I've got two things, right? Basically, I've got the conferences, and I want to set up seminars, training seminars. Scotty and I are going to do the conferences together. I'm going to set up training seminars for crypto, to bring people into the crypto world, teach them a little bit about it, basics, my standard basics. But then what Scott's going to do is he's going to put together some online courses for people so that they can learn in their own time. So basically, we need to be able to do that. That's fine, but he needs to do all of the. I mean, at the moment, poor little Dave set us up on the website. Yeah, Bill, wealth management. That's things that I can help with, but that's something that I want to do on my own channel. So the wealth management side isn't Love for Crypto. That's me. And I want to go more into motivational stuff and everything like that. And I'll come on to that a little bit later, because I'm going to, when we've got a few more people in, if they come, then I want to ask your opinion on something. So basically, yeah, I need to be able to put together videos. I need to be able to put together adverts, you know, and stop relying on other people to be able to do it for me. So I sat there and thought, I mean, I run my own business and I work full time, and I've got this crypto. So I'm pretty pushed for time. So I made a decision. Oh, I've been sitting on it for a couple of years, but I made a decision at the beginning of this year that if I want to learn about this stuff, then I need to go somewhere where I can do it on a full-time basis. So I want to be able to put together, and I want to do the videos where you've got cartoons, you know, where you have the cartoons and they tell you all these little bits and pieces, and it's a little bit funny, a little bit quirky. I'm going to think up a character who will do the talking for us, and basically just make it so that it's fun to learn. But I want to teach the power of compound. I want to teach people, especially youngsters. You know, if I can grab the youngsters as even as they're coming out of school, and they're going to know more about crypto anyway. They're going to be looking for little things, and hopefully I would build a big channel by then. And what I want to be able to do is teaching about the power of compound, third, and third. You know, how Jim Rohn says to do it. A third of your salary goes on living, a third of your salary goes on savings, and a third of your saving goes to engineer more wealth. So, you know, if you are a kid sitting at home doing a paper round, then you buy 2 bikes, one to ride yourself, one to rent out. You know, and find a way that you make your money work for you. So basically what you're going to do is 1 grain of rice doubled on a chessboard. Remember hearing that at school? Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you've got power of compound, it's really easy. If you've got £50 a month going in for 30 years, work that out. That turns into a huge sum. Can't remember it off the top of my head. I'd need my compound calculator. Chris says it's a sea of blue in here. Hey Cammy, how you doing? Yeah, hi Chris. Yeah, so basically that's what I want to do. I want to be able to put together little quirky. It's talking about everyone being having the spanners, because I had some haters come in when I first started doing it, and I needed people to be able to jump in at different times to sort them out, because I try and stay away from the chat. I glance down every now and then, but I don't want to have to be dealing with mods. Dave, oh, hold on. Wait, stay there, I'm back. Sorry, I'm back. Yeah, so if people could go and share this, because the link that I put out, I just had to go onto my my WhatsApp to let somebody know, because they contacted me to say, where am I? So it makes it buffer automatically. Sorry about that. But anyway, yes, so I'm saying that I want to be able to do that. I want to teach people about the power of compound. I want to teach people about wealth management, about knowing how much you need to live on, and actively managing your money. That's so important, and most people have actually found, hey Dave, have found that really difficult, because it's not something that you are taught. I mean, simple as the equivalent of, and I know they're not there anymore, but balancing the checkbook. You know, if you can balance your checkbook, then basically what you can do is you will know what's coming in and out. That's what it means, balancing your checkbook. The checks are shared it on Twitter. Thanks, Tony. Yeah, so it's knowing how much money you've got coming in and how much money you've got going out, and being able to manage your income properly. Most people don't know that. It isn't something they teach. It's something that you are expected to know how to. How you're supposed to know that at a young age, I've got no idea. But basically, it's one of those things where if I can get my channel to the point where I can actually make, instead of just standing, and I know I love interacting with you lot, I will never stop live streaming, but I want to be able to put videos out that will actually talk to different bits of society. So so basically what I need it to do is I need to be able to make it fun to learn about something like a pension, right? I've got 30 odd years experience in pensions that I can't share with anyone, right? It's boring for me to sit and talk at people. You know, I can sit down with people and have a really interesting conversation, you know, to and fro. But if I'm talking at people, they'll find it really boring, and they'll switch off and they'll bugger off and they'll never come back. And that's not what I want. I want to be able to interact and get people to enjoy the learning side of it. And the only way I can do that is to give my attention to it. Now, and that brings me to something else, because I want to also bring in the motivational stuff. I want to bring in the energetics, the magnetic stuff. So I can actually use the skills that I'm going to learn on media studies, on how to put together marketing campaigns, how to put together videos, you know, cartoon videos and puppet videos and all the bits and pieces that go with it. So I'm going to go back to university on a full-time basis, which means I'm not going to be working. So I just wanted to sort of, I've got some ideas and I'm going to chuck them through past you. And there's 16 people in here. Smash the thumbs up, please, people. Because basically, in order to do it so that I don't have to work, I need to build my channel. And that's the long and short of it. And I've always prided myself on the fact that I don't monetize. But I'm thinking that if I want to jump in with both feet to go to uni in September, two things need to happen. One, I need to get Love for Crypto conferences and be able to run with them. They take an awful long time. I really struggled time-wise for sleep and LA. But also, I don't want to have to work while I'm studying. And I can use that to basically, I can use that to help build my magnetic business as well. So I'd get an income from that. But if I turn around and say that I wanted to monetize my Crypto Boo Boo YouTube channel, would that upset anybody? Would that upset anybody? How can I afford that? It's called student loans. Yes, Bill. The conference in the US has been cancelled. I sent an email out to everybody, and we're in the proceeds of refunding everybody. Wouldn't upset you? No, fine by you. Wouldn't upset me. Boo, go for it. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do, hey Smart Asset, what I'm going to do is, starting sometime next week, I am going to, do you remember I was talking to you about Tony Robbins? And I said that there's a 30-day plan that I do once a year. Well, it wasn't Unleash the Power Within, it was Personal Power too. And basically I've started to do that. Bill, I won't be in debt for long. I mean, come on. We all know where XRP is going eventually. And plus the fact this particular course is only 7,500 a year. Chris says it shouldn't upset anyone. Time is money and live. And I've seen a lot of content that doesn't help anyone get monetization. True. Well, I want to change that. I want to actually bring some value to it. So I'm going to basically take what I'm going through with the personal power, live with passion. Absolutely, love my Tony Robbins. And what I want to do is I'm going to do a message every day or every other day. Hey Mari. Mari is in Norway. She's just checking in, going down for a walk to catch the sun go down over the ocean. She's new to crypto. I've been talking to her about it, and yeah, and she just keeps an eye on every now and then. They've just had the lift. They're not isolated anymore, which is fantastic, and their schools are opening, which is brilliant. But anyway, so basically what I want to do is starting next week, I'm going to do a video either every day or every other day, and it's going to be something that is going to help you to understand yourself from the inside out. Basically what Tony Robbins does for me is he allows me to go in deep to understand how my brain works, what my core principles are, what my driving factors are, understand, you know, what drives me. Makes you look at yourself, you know, in the physical, the mental, the spiritual, the intellectual, the whole kit and caboodle. So I find it really, I coached my sister a few years back, and basically she got a benefit from it, and then I gave her the plan, and then she did the 30-day plan. So what I'd like to do is take you on that journey with me, because it will help me to get my motivational skills up again and my training skills up again, but also at the same time it allows you to take the journey with me without actually forking out for it, and if you like it then you can go and get it. So what I would do is I'd still go live every now and then anyway, but this would be do I want to? I mean, I could do it live. I could do it live and then just switch off the chat until I've finished, and then take questions at the end, and then we can chat. That would work. Bill says, I've heard different people say different numbers, but how many XRP would you suggest I have? Okay, a couple of things you need to do in order to work that one out. One, how much do you think it's going to go up to on the research that you've done and the time scales that you have? So like me, 51 years old, I can't wait for 10,000 per coin, right? No two ways about it. That's going to take quite some time. So 10,000 per coin, it took Bitcoin 10 years. I don't really want to wait 10 years. So I need to have more coins to be able to sell at a lesser price. So, you know, I want to have enough coins where I can sell out on my bags as I go up, like £10, £50, £100. But my big bags, you know, I'm hoping that we have enough growth where I could maybe sell at £250. So then what you have to do is in your head, give it from the research that you've done, the time scale that you have in your head what you think it's going to grow to in 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. And then basically, how much do you want to have? So best case scenario, right? Lump sum in your head, how much do you need? So if you want to live on $50,000 a year, class that as 5%. So that would be 1 million. So a million would give you 50 grand a year at 5%. 5% is a good figure. So if you invested a million, you'd take out 50 grand a year. So if you need 50 grand a year to live on, then you know, ish, you'd need around about $1 million. So then work back how much you've got. So if you've got, I don't know, 10,000 XRP, 20,000 XRP, work back what price that would need to be to give you your $1 million, right? Now, if that needs to be a higher price, which is, you know, it's 10 years down the line, and you want it to be in 3 years' time, or 5 years' time, or in a year's time, then what you need to do is you need to have more XRP to sell at that price to get you your $1 million. Does that make sense? So for example, if you want to, say you've got 20,000 XRP and you've given yourself 3 years, but in 3 years you think it's going to come to $100. So 20,000 XRP at $100, 2 million. There you go. Chris has already done it. So 2 million, and that's a possibility in 3 years, right? So if that's what you've got and that's more than what you want, then 20,000 is enough. If you want to do it in, I don't know, a year, and you want it when you've got 20,000, and in a year's time you think it's going to go up to $50, then basically you've got to work it from there. I don't think that anyone should be looking at anything in the next sort of 2 or 3 years. I think that earliest would be 3 years. I mean, if it comes sooner than that, then well, hey, thank you very much, you know, wham bam. But this was always going to be a medium term investment. I think a lot of us got ahead of ourselves. I think there's been a spanner thrown into the works with everything that's going on. But I do think that it's a medium term, and medium term is 5 years. So Bill, you're a long-term hodler. Don't expect an all-time high until after 3 years. So you're expecting $3 in 3 years. That's fine. So $3, if you've got 20,000 XRP at $3, then that's going to give you 60 grand, $60,000. If that's what you can, if that's what you want, if that pays off your mortgage and you're happy with that, that's fine. If you're in it for the long term, like you say, and you can wait 10 years, and 20,000 coins, about £3,000 investment. Yeah, now depends when you started buying in. If you started buying in at the end of December 2017, it was a lot higher than that. But do you understand what I mean? It's one of those things that you need to. It's a personal conversation that you need to have with yourself. Nobody can tell you, because we can't read the future. You know, it'd be lovely if we could, but you know, you can't rely on other people to give you the answers. Justin, give you the answers, because you can't rely on people to give you the answers. Full stop. You can't do that, and then, you know, when it doesn't happen in 3 years' time, and then blame them. You know, it might take 5 years for it to go up to the all-time high. You know, very disappointing, but possibility. But you know, in 5 years' time, if it hits the all-time high, maybe I would have sold a little bit by then and got back some of my money. You know, my average, I think, is about 20p. So Bill, you're right now, I'm in the top 2% of XRP, but there are other projects I'm interested in, so I'm trying to balance between like 6 projects. I've got 27 different coins. 27. Might even be more than that. Yeah. 60's the new 29. Do you know what? I'm still sitting here looking at everything Bill, that's all I do. That's all I do. I'll give you suggestions on how to look at it. Sometimes people need to be talked through how to actually work it backwards. And top 2% of XRP is fantastic. You know, that's for you and your daughter. Who let the balls out? Oh, now I've lost my track. But yeah, so basically, yeah, it's just, you've got to have that conversation with yourself. So sit down with a piece of paper, whatever, write it down. It's really important. You've got to take the emotion out of it. If you can take the emotion out of it, then when you do start to see a bit of a bull run, which I do hope that we're going to get. I mean, there has to be, you've had a market, it's fucking typical, isn't it? You've had a market for the last 10 years, it's had the ups and downs and the ups and downs and the swings high and the bull run, the bear market, the bull run and the bear market. And then as soon as I buy in, bear market. That's it. Bill, you're into VET, XRP, CSC, HOTS, PandyX, XRP again, and ADA. Yeah, good ones. I sold all my HOT. I think that's going to be something that's going to come later. It's done to throw you off. Yeah, thanks. It's one of those things that you've got to have peace with yourself on. I mean, I've got a spreadsheet. My spreadsheet, because I'm into formulas and things like that. So I've got a spreadsheet where I've got a list down of all the different coins I've got, where they're stored, so whereabouts they are in the exchanges or wallets or nanos and things like that. Because I've got them all in different places. I've covered just about every different thing that could go wrong, so I've split them up. And then basically what I've done is I've got them listed, so then it's totaled what I've got each coin. And then what I've done is I've got to the side of the spreadsheet, I've got, right, how much it's worth now. So I just go in and amend the prices. They're all round about the same pretty much, apart from CSC, which has gone down 60% since I bought in. I'm really not happy about that. But and my kin's come up. Go figure. But anyway, so I've got my spreadsheet, and then by the side of it, I've got how much it's worth now, how much it would be if it went back to its all-time high. Because all-time highs, it's all very good, turn around saying on a bull run, it'll go parabolic, and we've got, 10,000% and all that side of it. Let's just work back and just assume that it's going to go back up to its all-time high. And then I've got like how much it would be worth. So that to me, that keeps me focused. And then what I've got is, well, if it went up to MPX, right? So if my pundy went up to a pound, I work in pounds, obviously, English, sterling. So I've got it, so if it went up to a pound, if it went up to a fiver, if it went up to a tenner, if it went up to 20 quid, if it went up to £100, XRP, some of them, PandyX, doesn't get past a fiver, if it goes up to $5, happy days, Got only a little tiny bit. Somebody gave me some free MPX, some free Pandy, because I lost 1.3 million, got scammed. So XRP Twin, 30, he basically sent me across, he had shrapnel, and sent that through to me. So he gave me like, well, it was about 5,500 PandyX, which it sits there, it's free. Whatever it goes up to, it's a bonus. Yeah, it's one of those situations where you just got to make peace. You've got to make peace with what you got. You've got to make peace with what you want, and you've got to make peace with how you're going to do it. And it's so important. I was talking into one of my group chats, and I turned around and said that I was buying from Uphold. And what I did was I bought some more Digibyte through Uphold, and I needed to move the money over from my bank account to Uphold, so I did it through the debit card, because the debit card is free. And then from there I buy the Digibyte, and it costs 1.95% to buy it in. And he said, well, if you buy your XRP directly from your bank account, then there's no fee. And I'm like, that doesn't work here, because if I was sending it from my bank account to Uphold, it goes from sterling to euros. So then I've got the currency fees. You know, it costs me. So it's literally, you know, you can on Uphold you can buy it in dollars or euros. So can't do it in sterling. So that prevents me from doing a bank transfer. I have done it, but it's not worth the fees. So it's a case of making peace, but it means that you need to keep on top of these things on a regular basis and work out exactly, you know, who's got the best fees for now. Coinfield did a thing where they were doing a Summel, and if you put your money onto Coinfield from Summel, it didn't cost you anything, and Summel didn't charge you either. Now they do. So, you know, you drop a couple of percent when you're moving the money over. So I was moving the money from my bank account to the Summel app and then onto Coinfield. Because if I tried to do it from my bank account to Coinfield, my bank was cancelling every transaction and calling it fraudulent, even though I was phoning them up and saying, don't do it. I want this transaction to go through. I'm just about to do it. And they refused. I walked away from HSBC, particularly for that reason, because they cancelled every transaction, and I would be on the phone to them and saying, you've got to let that go through. You're costing me thousands in the future. I can't do my purchases. These are the equivalent of shares. And they're like, no, I'm sorry. CEX, I sent money from my bank account to CEX.io. And basically, they lost my money for 2 weeks. And then they turned around and said, oh, it has to be sent in a certain way. And I said, well, how does my bank know that? You know, it's because it wasn't sent in a certain way. The bank did the cheapest version possible, and CEX won't accept it. So they basically declined the payment in, which took 2 weeks to get back to my bank account and cost me £38 in charges. And that was only about £500. It was ridiculous. So it still doesn't, it's not quite joined up yet. It's still the Wild West, unfortunately, where these things are concerned. Okay. Price manipulation is done to throw people off. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. When you see the Wild West going on, and you know, you've got the governments sitting there saying, well, you know, it's Bitcoin, it's used for terrorism, you know, it's not such a nice thing for you to do. And then you go looking into it, and then you have to try and work out how to use it, and it's done by geeks for geeks, you know, and when you're not a geek and don't understand it, it's off-putting, which is why I never invested in Bitcoin in 2012, 2013. I'd have been a multi-millionaire by now if I could have worked out how to buy it. XRP Dave, CSC, XRP, BTR, Solo, and started collecting a bit of Link. Link's doing well at the moment. Justin says, throw people off or not, it's that low, it'd be silly to sell. And Dave agrees with you. Dave says he's only got 6 different coins, but he may buy some more. Or is that 6 of the Link? Solo and CSC I'm really bullish on. I've got some, yeah, CSC I'm really disappointed in Casino Coin. I bought at the high. Timed that wrong, didn't I? PandyX can't be bought. £100 for $1 million, $100 would only buy 500 XRP. Decisions. Yeah, but Bill, not being funny, for the sake of $100, stick yourself on $1 million PandyX, and if it goes up to a penny, happy days. I managed to get 20 plus friends and family on board with XRP, Calm Solo. Well done. Well done. I mean, I've got I've got a very small family, so most of mine are, my family are in. I've managed to get them in, which is quite nice. Chris XRP says, anyone know what VThor is? The gas for vet, and they give it away free every month. So basically what you do is you have your VeChain, and then wherever you have your VeChain, the VThor is sent through to the exchanges, and they credit it to your account every month. Ooh. So, Chrissy, I use Bitra and the only trading pair with VeThor is Bitcoin. Yeah, but you get it free, so you don't really need to buy any. Devon Steve, hi Boo Boo and everyone. Sorry I'm late. Be making chicken a la king. Sounds interesting. Dave says, I expect that I'm going to get roasted for making a price prediction a year ago. What was your price prediction, Dave? I mean, we all hoped for 589. Come on, that was when I was first coming in. That was 2018, and it was 589 by 31st of December 2018. So, oops, sorry, a bit too close. $10 US by next April. Oh, I said $50 by the end of last year. So, 3 years for $100. It depends. It depends. I mean, with everything that's going on at the moment, we've got a situation where they're going to be able to bring in digital currencies far faster than we ever expected. That was the lotto numbers, 5, 8, 9, 21, 31, 48. Yeah, I remember. Oh, did I kick myself? Did I kick myself that I didn't actually put those numbers on as well? Madness. Problem getting VeThor is you've got to hold on the exchange long term. Well, you don't need to. I mean, you can transfer it into the wallet. So it depends how quickly things ramp up. I suspect it will happen in weeks. How long is a piece of string? Well, you've got China has actually already set out its CBDC. So its digital currency is live. They've started to pay, I think 50% of people's salaries are now being paid in the digital currency. I saw somewhere. So if that's true. Basically, we've got Italy, who have been working on a CBDC for the last 3 years. So they're ahead of the game. I am pretty sure that you will find that all of these countries actually have been secretly going through some examples or looking into the CBDCs themselves, because they must have seen the writing on the wall, because China did, Italy did. Crypto Eri told me she thinks 50 corridors, then we will see some price action. Yeah. Oh, Trump does need to abolish the Fed, Dave, but he's absorbed it into the... He's absorbed the Fed into the... the word escapes me. But the main... Put it up. Come on, Dave, you'll know it. Yeah, he's absorbed it. The Fed is over, basically. He's absorbed it. He's taken it over into the main part of it now. So it's no longer a private company, which is what the Fed was. Let them print money first and say they're no longer required. Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if they're going to continue to lose money still. We are probably... yeah, I can't think of it. The name, I tried to grab it and it skirts out of my brain and it comes back later when it's not required. It'd be nice if the numbers were available and added to CoinMarketCap for Japan. Yeah, it's one of those things that they're playing with the figures so that we don't actually get too excited too soon, because they can't have people jumping in yet and grabbing it, because there will just be a buy. And unfortunately, they're going to need a lot of the XRP to run the financial institutions of this world. So they can't have a huge run on XRP of people who suddenly find the light like we have. New all-time high after 3 years. Yeah, it's possible. But what I'm saying is that with this new Black Swan event that's happening, I mean, I don't know if anybody watched DNI over the weekend. I think it was Saturday morning. He has a manifesto, an XRP manifesto for the take up of XRP as the standard. When I first started watching him, he's amazing. You need the geopolitical stuff that he knows, and this understanding that he has is spot on. But basically what he does is he wrote a manifesto. It's a 9-step manifesto of XRP being the standard. Now, if XRP is going to be the standard, when I came in on it, I think it was a 4. I think 4, round about sort of Christine Lagarde, when he was talking about watch for Christine Lagarde to be on mainstream, because they need to have somebody who is going to start to make decisions. And then she went over to the ECB, don't forget, from the IMF. So basically start to see her, so she becomes a trusted person, and she's been on TV a lot more. So then that's step 4 tick, and then step 5, and then step 6. We're actually halfway through step 7 of 9, right? So there's only 9 steps to the manifesto that he predicted. I think it was 2017 or 18, beginning of, where basically he said, this is what's going to happen. This is how I see it happening. Nobody could foresee that the Black Swan event was going to be a pandemic. We just did not know. We thought it was going to be a deep depression. In actual fact, the pandemic is going to herald in, people understand now that we are not just going into recession, we're going into depression. So they will know, they will understand that something needs to be done, because they can see what's coming. You know, the one good thing that's happened about this pandemic, and, you know, heart goes out to everybody that's suffered through it, but the one good silver lining we can take from that is it's ushered in what we always knew was coming, and what we thought was going to be a severe depression with loss of life, lots of loss of life, and not from a flu, but from a starvation side of things, or a hopeless depression, suicide type of thing. So his manifesto could come true, definitely. Hold on, let me go back up. It would be nice, yeah, absolutely, know what you mean. Got a prediction build. Yeah, you must belong to Mensa. I never realised there was a formula for it. What did Tony say? A piece of string is twice as long as it is from one end to the middle. Yep, it definitely is. I love how BTC Maxi's rave over link, but 35% is in circulation. Oh well. Smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. Some other cryptos could bring massive profits before XRP moves. Yeah, absolutely. I think that everything will go up before XRP does. Chicken or egg? Hey, how you doing, honey? The tweet shocking about Fauci. Oh my God. Talk about hang himself. This man. You couldn't make it up if you tried. So you've got a man who's the head of the NIH or whatever it is. So he's the man who is advising Trump about medical stuff to do with this pandemic, liaising with the World Health Organization. I have to do this because it's so stupid. So basically, World Health Organization comes out at the end of January and says, you don't need you don't need to stop people coming into your country. Don't stop the Chinese coming in. And everyone jumped on that bandwagon and said he was being racist and xenophobic and everything like that. But he done it anyway, right? He said, this is for the people. I have a bad feeling about this, so I'm going to do this. And I'm the president, so therefore I get to choose. So he's having arguments with Fauci. Fauci is doing things like saying, you don't need to wear masks. No, you know, this virus, you know, it doesn't serve you. It's not going to save you by wearing a mask. What it does is it saves everybody else. And if everybody wears it, then everyone's saving everybody. I mean, yeah. Take cross-contamination out of the way. But that's the way it works. So he's sitting there saying that. And then Trump comes up with this drug. And then basically Fauci turns around and says, no, you can't say that. And he said, well, I have a really good feeling about this. You know, I think that people should look into it. Why wouldn't they? If they're going to die from it, what's the harm? If they're going to die from the virus, then why not take the drug? It's past, it's, you know, it's used already in mainstream. It's not a brand new drug. It's something that's already there. FDA approved. What's the problem? And Fauci is saying, no, you can't do that. And that feeds into all of the other Democratic fucking congressmen who turned around and said, you can't use that for the virus. Oh, was it Massachusetts or whoever it was? Turned around and said, you can't do that. You cannot use that. If I find that anybody is actually giving out prescriptions for this drug or this concoction of drugs for the coronavirus, then I am going to take away your license. That's how bad it got. So you got this Fauci, and then, you know, people asked him questions, specific questions that basically said, you know, is this a man-made thing? No, don't worry. Some head virologists have actually put a paper together. I will let you have a copy of that. It's not available right now. I'll make it available for you to show that it can move between bats and people, right? And all other virologists around the world are going, no, it can't. Doesn't work that way. So then somebody this morning turns around in Trump's question and answers and says, so what about this money that Fauci sent to China, to the Wuhan Institute laboratories, 3.7 million in 2015, after Obama had actually put a stop on all of this side of things to look into the coronavirus back in 2014. And Trump stopped and he almost smiled and he went, yeah, we were talking about that this morning. And I just sat there and thought, it was a drop the mic moment, absolute drop the mic moment, because this Fauci has hung himself, right? Not only in, hello, cynical speculation, not Friday, yeah, whatever. I saw it this morning. But not only did Fauci back in 2017 turn around and said there's going to be many flus, but at some point in Trump administration there's going to be a pandemic outbreak. In 2017 he stated that was going to happen in Trump's administration. So sometime between when he said it in 2017 and 2020, this was going to happen. How did he know? Then you add in that a couple of years before that, they're sending funding to the Wuhan Institute to look into the weaponization of the coronavirus, right? So against the agreement that was passed down through Obama with Obama's, no, you're not telling me that Obama didn't know about it. So they colluded to not do it in the USA. They'd done it in China instead. So they gave all this funding money over to China, who even back in 2015 had huge human rights issues and still do. So they're funding them looking into the coronavirus. And then all of a sudden in 2020, we have a coronavirus outbreak, pandemic. The guy has got some questions that he needs to answer, and I actually think that, and don't get me wrong, I think it's going to turn out that this is going to be a catalyst. It needed to happen. Trump probably had an idea about this before, but if he'd have actually arrested Fauci and thrown him in jail and said he's done this and this, they'd have just turned it around and said, they would have just turned around and said, well, look at him, he's a dictator, told you. So he needed these people to hang themselves with their own words so that it's not come from him. They've done it themselves. Then all of a sudden it works out that he's been colluding with and financing. And one thing I will turn around and say, when you corner an animal, they come out fighting. Now we need to be in lockdown more than ever, right? Because that is a huge spoke in the wheel that shows a conspiracy that they've been poo-pooing for years about this new world order, right? So expect something massive. And one of the things that could be, that I've heard is a possibility, is that, see all these Elon Musk satellites that's been put up around the world. So we've got a net of satellites all the way around the world, which is supposed to herald this 5G. And we're all going to start to get this fast internet. But we've got the 5G masts outside as well as up in the sky, so I don't quite get that. But anyway, so this thing, right? So when you've got a net around the earth, what they can do is they could, and if you watch Sam I Am's To the Lifeboats piece on the Pope, it showed that they're using holograms already. Holographics, yes, Skynet. Holographic images already, because the Pope did his wave at the window, turned around and disappeared. Didn't change the camera, just disappeared. He literally faded out in 1 second or nanosecond and then disappeared in the next nanosecond. Didn't even have time to walk down the stairs, right? Physically just disappeared. He went out of his mind, right? Sam was like, what the fuck did I just say? And I was watching it, I'm like, and he did it literally frame by frame by frame and showed it, right? So if they're using that sort of technology in that sort of way, throws up loads of questions about, you know, where is the Pope? But on that same notice, yeah, in 2 frames, in that same notice, right, they can put a hologram. So what happens if they decide that they need another episode to bring people's eyes away from what's happened with this information coming out? So basically what will happen is they need to do this massive thing. Something massive needs to go on right now, and we're talking in the next few days, which diverts people's attention so they forget all about this Fauci thing. Because that is a massive spoke in their wheel, right? That puts a whole new, that stops the vaccinations, that stops the New World Order. It throws up question marks on everything that we've ever been told. It highlights that Trump's actually working with the Patriots, for sure. So basically, I saw a thing, I think it was last night or first thing this morning, and some guy basically turned around and said, well, they've been saying about extraterrestrials for quite some time now. So what happens if all of a sudden we have a spaceship show up in the sky? Isn't that going to make people go out of their minds and forget all about this information? Yeah, it was this morning. And I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, that would work. People would really stop thinking about this coronavirus thing, conspiracy theory, that's unraveling in front of their faces, because people don't want to admit that people could do this on purpose. Because basically, if Fauci has done what it looks like he's done, he's deliberately letting people die. Deliberately. He deliberately said about the masks so it would spread better. He's deliberately funded for this coronavirus to be weaponized, which makes it a bioweapon, by the way. And that means that there's a vaccine for it already. There is a cure. So this thing where Gates actually wants you to all have a vaccination. Why? 85% of people will have it and not even realise or get it so that it's small symptoms. 85% of people. 15% of people will get it bad. And of that, they reckon 1% of people will die. Right? So for 1% of people dying, they want to vaccinate the whole world. Does that not actually just... Is that not a moment? Just that on its own. Hold on, let me catch up. Bill Gates started to talk about the virus pandemic after he gets a patent. Yeah. And why did he get a patent? And how did the Congress know to sell off their shares in all these different stocks? And how did the CEOs know to get out and pass? The CEOs, right? Everyone thinks that that's because they've been told to step down. I think these CEOs were given the heads up of what was coming with the pandemic, and they've stepped down so they could sell their shares because they know that their companies are going down. Right? That makes more sense to me than a threat from the Trump administration that they're going to get arrested. No one can hush stuff up like that. China, Skynet, in 2 frames. Isn't it funny how they take censorship down, but they censored the doctor in China and he died of the very thing he tried to warn about? Did he really? Did he die of it? Or did they just shut him up? Not being funny. He was ill and I wonder if he's dead. I saw that to the lifeboat video. Crazy, yeah. Dave says, you watch, they'll be able to pin you down, especially when they chip everyone. Are you going to get a chip? Because I heard that chip actually, when it's in your body, it can actually work with the electricity in your body and zap you if you do things wrong. How much of that is true, I've got no idea, but that was from somebody who spoke to somebody in the forces, armed forces, and the armed forces are now got to the stage where they won't put up with it. They're now starting to, they're protecting the people now. They realise that they can't serve the government in the current format, so they can't do the elite work. They will fake news about this drug. Hey boo boo, yeah, but another channel showed on angle of the paw and he didn't disappear, so it looked like the side hologram was turned off. Too soon, mind-blowing stuff. Trump has come out of this looking good to get re-elected. I think if he's re-elected, they're going to kill him. I'd be like, what else are they hiding from us? That's what everybody's going to ask. That's why they need to change the narrative. Fauci, Republican Democrats. He's friends with Bill Gates. 1 in 100 chance. Don't like them odds. 1 in 100 chance. Yeah, but the people that are dying are either people with underlying conditions or they're over 70. And the majority of them are ethnic minority as well. We are weakening our defences by doing that, I think. Got to bounce out, guys. Mrs. wants dinner. Speak soon, boo. You're right there, Chris. Well, hopefully I'll speak to you very soon and we can go and have another pint somewhere. My mate had it, said he didn't feel any different, no symptoms, tested when he came home from Italy. Okay, chicken and egg. Most people won't actually have symptoms like that. Dave says he definitely doesn't want a chip. Cynical speculation says Microsoft's mining patent talks about a sensor implanted in the user. Yeah. Bill says I will get chipped. And Dave says QAnons won't put up with it. No, and nor should they. Honestly, I've got some people who I love very dearly that turn around and say to me, I've got to stop believing this shit. And I'm like, open your eyes. Question everything. I don't believe everything. But if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, you know, there's a really good chance that it is an actual fucking duck. So I don't ever discount anything. I listen to everything. I've listened to the flat earthers, right? Now I know the earth isn't flat, but they've got they've got a reason why they think that way, and it's their prerogative to think that. So I'm not going to turn and say to them that they're mad for thinking that the earth's flat. If they want to think the earth's flat, that's their choice. Who am I to tell them what to think? And that's where we need to get back to. We need to start to, and this is one of the things that I wanted to talk to about today. When I say about, what was it I called it? Oh no, the last one, sorry, this was try again. Yeah, the last one I said about beating the dragon. And basically what I mean by that is that people need to be more inclusive of everybody else. So, you know, we're all human. And we need to revere each other in our own humanity, right? I don't care if you're black, blue, brown, purple, pink, right? I don't care if you're male, female, class yourself as a duck, you want to identify as a book, up to you. Don't tell me what to think. right? That's all I ask. Don't tell me what to think. Let me make my own mind up. Let me make my own decisions. Let me be the person that I want to be, as long as I don't hurt anybody else. It's nobody's right to have any input on what I can think and speak about, right? So basically, the way that I want people to start to, when I say about like beating the dragon, to the dragon is our own insecurity, okay? When they turn around and say about, you know, when you're going through life, we have to be our own hero. We have to tell our own story, and we have to be able to bring that back in and tell the story after we've lived it. And that's something that's being lost in such a big way, because we're not listening to the old people talk about their times. You know, when I was growing up, my grandmother used to come around. My friends used to find out that my gran was coming for the weekend, and we would have a house full of people, 8, all my closest friends, male, female, punks, rockers, you know, skinheads, and they would all literally sit at my nan's feet to listen to her stories of when she was growing up in Ireland. And she had the gift of the gab, and she was an amazing person. And I want to put some of her stories down on paper, because they are amazing. But we stop listening to the older generations. You're not imparting from the oldest to the youngest. You're not, you know, families are so dissociated now, and not as supportive as they used to be. Yeah, Dave, no one has time for each other because they've got to get on with life. And what this has done is it's made people take a breath. And one of the things that I watched this morning was Finding Joe. And it's all about, is it Joe Clements? There was a man that basically, he went and he watched all the films, he read all the books, he educated himself on all the parables. And basically what he did was he noticed that there is a thing for everything. And that's the journey, right? The person who's in their little life and something happens that pushes them outside their comfort zone, and they have to become a hero. But in order to become a hero, they have to fight their demons, their dragon. And then when it gets to the point where they are the person that they were always meant to be, they come back and tell people about it. And basically it resounded with me in such a big way, because we've lost that ability. We are not our own heroes. We don't value ourselves or love ourselves the way that we should, in order to make that massive impact on the people around us. We should all be able to bring it, to sit down with other people and tell your story and interact with other people and show the benefit of what you've done. I've got 50 years of shit that I can talk about. I've got some good stories, I've got some bad stories, but the pertinent thing is that for everybody that I speak to, I can give them something that maybe resounds with them. And it's being able to share. And I realise that that's what I do when I come live streaming, and I've been backing off from it for quite some time because I didn't feel my worth. Right? I stopped live streaming I was doing it properly, and then I doubted myself, I sabotaged myself. I could have built a massive channel by now, but I didn't, because I didn't believe in myself. And that is huge, because I've always had that confidence. And I want to be able to give that out to other people. I want to be able to speak to people so that someone somewhere will watch something that I do and take something from it and be able to use that in their lives, which is why I want to do, it's why I'm going to monetize. because what I want to do is I want to be able to take you on my journey with me when I'm doing this 30-day plan. I've started it already, and I want to be able to give you my thoughts, and maybe it will help some of you. And again, you know, I watch everything. I mean, I don't watch TV. I'm on YouTube. I'm watching everyone from the X22 report, the SGT report, to the White House briefs, to, I don't really watch the BBC. I do watch the briefs in the UK, but they don't give us the information that I get from what the Trump people do. So I tend to take that, but I go and do my own research. I watch Cliff High. Cliff High is such a critical thinker, it's unbelievable. But I also watch the conspiracy theorists. You know, I've watched people who channel aliens, beings. You know, I watch people who believe that there are seven levels of spirituality, and that we're on, I think, level 4. And we need to vibrate on a better frequency, which is why I talk about being positive, to be able to give out a positive vibe so that the people around you feel so much better. I practice it when I go to my UK meets. I hope that what I do is, by the end of the night, well, maybe not by the end of the night because I'm pissed, but by the end of the day, that people that have come to join in the conversation actually feel better about everything when they go home. You know, and that's the whole point of it. You gather people together, like-minded people. You talk about things that you've got passionate about, but at the same time, what you're doing is you're giving off a really good energy that hopefully helps them to vibrate in a better way, so that they feel better about themselves. And then in 20 years' time, somebody will actually sit there and go, do you remember that day, to their spouse, do you remember that day that we went down and we saw, can't remember her name now, and we were talking about XRP? And that's what I want. I want people to remember me, not necessarily my name, not my face, but just to make an impact on somebody somewhere where it's actually made my life worthwhile, and made other people better for being in it, if that makes sense. Stories and sayings, all down to money, guaranteed. Starfish was the largest nuke ever detonated. It was detonated in the upper atmosphere, and the vid looks like it hits a dome. I saw that. That's where the flat earthers really got me thinking about it. I still think the earth is curved, but I do think that there is some filament up there. XRP Dave, me and Mrs. Devon have been talking about that, and we reckon this lockdown has slowed people down. We wish sometimes that we were on lockdown, but we got to keep working. Love you too, Tony. Anyone seen that rocket that spins thousands of times a second on its way up and then stops dead? Chris. Good point. Cynical speculation. Yeah, love you, boo-boo. Saw that one. Interesting to think what could stop that spin. Chris says, I've always wondered. Cynical speculation says, yeah, interesting to say the least. Yeah, I mean, that's something. I watched something today about 9/11. And that was, who was it? Weekend Warrior? Hold on, I will tell you. History. Hydroxychloroquine, that's the name of the... I actually shared something that's really important for people to watch about hydroxychloroquine. There's a lady over in Australia who is self-medicating for it because she asked her doctors for it, and they gave her all the wrong doses, but she looked it up and she's taking the right doses and she's getting better. So, which really, really just drives me nuts. Yeah, Weekend Warrior, September the 11th. Yeah, that's there's some interesting footage that was shot by somebody who is, I think, in a helicopter or something, and basically it shows that there was no plane. It shows there was no plane. And then you have to question that the BBC was actually reporting that the third building went down 20 minutes before it actually did go down. So, and then the yeah, watch that video. That's a bonfire guy. He has some really good points to make, and some of his videos are about Pizzagate and that sort of thing. It's really hard hitting, but oh my god, the information that he's got on that is huge. But yeah, you've got that. You've got the Finding Joe. Again, I've shared that today. I haven't shared much today, so there's not too much in there to go through. The Finding Joe, it's about an hour and 20 minutes, and it's all about the journey that people make, and it's trying to show you that you can find your bliss, that you don't have to do the grind, the 9 to 5, that if you're doing what makes you, if you're doing what you're passionate about, then you will make a life that you can live. But you know, if you concentrate on the money, then you do your grind in your 9 to 5. But yeah, it's interesting stuff. And what he does is he looked at everything across the ages, all the parables, all the myths, all the stories, and he found one factor, and that's that you've got to move out of your comfort zone to find yourself, to become the hero, which is, you know, your bliss, and then you have to share it. And that's the stories down the ages, and it's really interesting. And they use all these different old films, new films, and everything like that. You know, The Matrix, the Follow the Yellow Brick Road, everything, just across the ages, and it's really well put together. And they use children actors to try and act out the little bits where they're trying to show the parables and things like that. It's really quite sweet. Interesting. So this, who's to say we are not in a 4D dimension? They explained it was like us looking at a 2D world, but a 4D looking at a 3D. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what, Dave? I saw something once that somebody, oh God, it was one of the motivators, and he was talking about his dad that was in one of the wars. I think it was in Saigon or something like that. Anyway, so he's captain or whatever it is, and he's got these helicopters, and they do nighttime sweeps, and they've got these guys on the big guns, machine guns, taking out the enemy and that sort of stuff. And what they did was they had, oh, was it yellow or red? You know, nighttime vision goggles. They're green, aren't they? Well, I think they were given red ones. The first ones that came out, they were given red ones. And what they were told was the captain wasn't to put it on, and the pilot wasn't to put it on, but everyone else was to wear them, and that they used that. And then basically after like wearing them for a certain amount of time, the men were gibbering white wrecks, and in fact some of them were just shooting off into the darkness, and they were saying that they could see demons. And what you say about the 4D looking at 3D and all that sort of stuff, basically what they were saying, that there are dimensions within dimensions. We don't actually get to see it. Now, Scott's really good at this, from Love for Crypto, because he's done the DMT or whatever it is, And he says that it opens up your perception so that you see a different dimension. In a different, what we see now is like it's not necessarily 2D, but that's what we see in 2D. And what it does is it opens your eyes up so that you see it, so you see the atoms rather than, it's like, I would say it's like a trip, but he's absolutely specifically turned around and said it's not tripping. It opens your mind up to what you can actually see, and you see other beings, right? So, and the thing is, most people on DMT, they all see the same thing. So it's not a group hallucination, because they're all doing it at different times, but they all come back and say the same thing, which is quite interesting. So again, I don't believe everything, but I don't discount anything. Meditation and DMT is the way to go. I would love to try it. I would love to try it. Thank you, who let the balls out. I have an awesome channel. Hopefully, I have a way of talking that can resound with people, and I love talking. I love living on my own, but I love talking. But I do enjoy doing the live streams, because I get to interact, which is why I might actually do live streams with the Tony Robbins stroke boo-boo motivation hour, or whatever I'm going to call it. So when I start doing that, then there is quite a good chance that I'll do that as a live thing rather than me just talking to the video, because it would be good to have the interaction. I can't have constant interaction though, so I'd have to find a way of doing it where I impart the information and talk at you, and then go back, and then we can have that interaction, which I think would be really good. I'm used to training, so I'm going to do lots of different things, so it won't just be that. There's motivational. I want to be able to talk to people about things like sabotage and setting goals. Goal setting is so important. Joshua, you and me, absolutely, honey. We will have a Zoom call, because I would love to hear about that. Third party consensus. XRP Dave, have I tried 528 hertz? Right, I've heard of 540, and I tend to listen to is it 540 or 4? Which is the best one to listen to for, because they've got different ones, different megahertz or different vibrational sounds for different things. So you've got like the sleep easy, the stimulate memory and intelligence, the relaxation. 528 is the best. I'll try it. 740. Joe Rogan has a great interview with a few people on this subject. What, the DMT or the hertz? Chris, DMT or hertz? Joe Rogan has a great interview with a few people on this subject. Because I have to say, I haven't actually found DMT. Okay, I haven't found Joe Rogan yet. I've heard he's good. So do not listen to 528 and 740 together. But that isn't that like listening to heavy metal and classical music? You know, that's conflicting. I get that. I do get that. So I don't know how long I've been talking. What am I on? Oh my God! See, I've done it again. An hour and 20 minutes. Is there anything else that anybody wants me to cover? Devil tone. What, 740? 740. That'll be the heavy metal bit then. Yeah. Is there anything else that anybody wants to ask, talk about, chat, do? At the right frequency, the glass shatters. Mixing tones can be harmful. How do you get hydroxychloroquine? You need to have, there's hydroxychloroquine, there's the, oh God, what's it called? It's like erythromycin, but not. Erythromycin or something, and zinc, the three together. But you have to do right. So what you have to do is you have to take 500 milligrams of the hydroxychloroquine on the first day, and then 4 days of hydroxychloroquine at 250 milligrams, and then I call it erythromycin, it's not erythromycin. You have to do, oh God, is it 30 milligrams? It's on that email, the message that I shared, that basically turned around and said, it's from Hev. Let me get her. I'm going to put that on the share because it's really important, because she's in Australia, and basically she was given the wrong doses that's been recommended. She's actually on there, she's actually got a paper that's been given out. So this is an actual medical paper that's been given out about it. Talk about the magnet effect on the body and food. Oh, that's a whole massive talk, that one. But very, very briefly, if you magnetize your water, which means if you take your tap water, especially in the UK, the tap water is shit. But if you magnetize your tap water, then basically what you can do is you can raise the pH level of the water, but at the same time you can neutralize an awful lot of the chemicals that are in there, and you line up the molecules back into its natural state, which means your body absorbs it better. So there's an awful lot, there's lots of different things that you can do to help with your pH level, and the higher your pH level, the better it is. Chris, the magnets work for my arthritis, a dream. Yeah, Tony bought some magnets off me, and basically it's really helped with his arthritis. Crypto Justin says that's why I get bottled water. You can save yourself a fortune. You don't need to. Also, if you've got a filter for your water, you don't have to change the filters, because if you put a magnet stick inside the brittle water filter, or wherever you get your water from, I have a jug by the side of the sink with a magnet stick in it, and then basically that does better, because all a water filter does is filters the water through charcoal, and it helps to take out some of the bits, but it doesn't actually do anything with like the fluoride or the pH level or the mass. The natural state of water is that all of the molecules are lined up, but because by the time it comes out the sink, it's been, I don't know, through the filters about 9 times. So basically what that does is it messes them all up so that it's not in its natural state. So the more into its natural state you get it, the better it is. Because again, we evolved needing water. It's only recently that we get them from reservoirs and through the taps and everything like that. We got thousands of years where we took them out of streams and wells and, you know, directly from the earth. And the earth's magnetic field actually kept it magnetized. Water only holds magnetism even for up to 3 days. And from the time that you take it away from the earth, it starts to reduce. And if you think that your body is what, 80% water, wear the magnets. If you wear the magnets, then what you're doing is you're magnetizing your body, your blood. You know, your blood is a liquid as well. You can magnetize so much. I mean, I've magnetized my red wine. I love my red wine. And when I magnetise the wine, what it does is it neutralises a lot of the sulfates. So it makes it taste better. But also at the same time, it raises the pH level of the wine itself. So it's not so acidic. So you don't get that cardboard taste afterwards, and you don't get the hangover that, because I don't drink white wine. What I was told by a winemaker is that red wine, you can magnetise red wine easily, but some white wines need to be acidic. So you've got to be careful which ones you do. But you can magnetise everything. Maybe I could do a video on the various magnets. Yes, I could. Could you send links for magnets? I'll give you the links for them, but because I haven't been active for some time, the link, I need to reset up my link to my own web shop. The link that I can send you now is that should be a www dot. So basically the link that I'm sending you, that's to the web shop, but that no longer credits me anymore. So I need to change it. I won't go into the whys or wherefores, but yeah, it's an MLM business. Basically it's linked to my niece's account, and she's no longer doing it. So her account is actually, it's there, but it's flying free. So I don't get the credit. So, although, no, I do get the credit. Yeah, order from there. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Just order through there. But we do everything. I mean, I've got is Bull in? Bull, are you in the house? Bull has bought a magnet blanket for his dog. Now I actually lay on the magnet blanket. Is it's about 2 foot by 1.5 foot, and it's got a long time. It's got quite a few different magnets in it. So because it's quite good to lay on, so I actually lay on it while I'm in bed, when I've got aches and pains, or if I'm feeling ill or anything like that, or if I've done exercise and I've done myself in. I've done a whole video, yeah, Tony, I've done a whole video, thank you, on the magnets going back. Who'll let the balls out? Buy shungite strips for EMF blocking. Put the strips on your mobile, TV and microwave. Shungite on eBay. I've actually got it's like a little triangle. It's all packed away. I wasn't expecting to be out of my house for this long, but it's something that you put onto the mobile over the top of the battery, and it stops all of the gump coming out. Unfortunately, I got my iPhone 11 after I moved and didn't put it on there. So the strip is actually on my iPhone 7 Plus, but I don't actually use that generally anymore, apart from to mine the stuff that I do. So yeah, shungite strip sounds just as good though. Tony Brockwell, yeah, that's my niece. That's my niece. But yeah, put it through there because it comes into me. Are wearing a magnetic, right, so you are wearing a magnetic bracelet, magnetic necklace and a charm, and magnetic inserts in the shoes. Yeah, so I've got a magnet pendant, a magnetic necklace, it's got magnets in there, got magnetic earrings. I've only got one set in at the moment because they make me very hot, but generally I wear 2. I've got, that's a sports bracelet, that's the strongest one that we do bracelet wise. That one, it's got magnets in copper. So, and then I've got one on my belly ring, and then I've got a magnet anklet. And it's summer now, so I'm on flip-flops, so I can't wear them in my shoes anymore. But it does make a massive difference. I've actually got lots of little magnet necklaces, kids ones, that I found and I hadn't put away. So I've just put them over the edge of my bed, because I've got like a wooden bed with the corners on it. So what I've done is I've hung them on the corners of the beds, so that it helps to stave off some of whatever it is that's sort of floating around outside of us at the moment. Unfortunately, we've got a mast at the end of the road, so I would imagine that it's quite bad here, on the EMF type way. But what can you do? I mean, once I get my house, I mean, if we get some sort of movement, once I get my house back, I'm going to be ripping out all of the walls on the inside. So all of the plasterboard on the inside of the walls, either side, front and back, I'm taking them all off because I'm having the place rewired. Sorry, she knows. I'm having the place rewired. So what I'm probably going to do is put magnets, because I've got loads. So what I'm probably going to do is just put magnets or hematite in the walls before they go back up, so that it gives me a form of protection. Because at the end of my garden, I've got a small mini power station. So I need to find a way of blocking some of that. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Devon Steve, you can get magnets for your car fuel as well. Had them on my fuel pipe years ago. Also put in your mains water pipe. Yeah, really good if you've still got the old-fashioned copper pipes. Unfortunately, if you have the plastic pipes, you would need to. What you could do is you could put the magnet on there, but you'd have to put wire. Copper wire all the way around the pipe, quite thin together, and then the copper actually conducts the electricity, because basically magnetism. Basically what happens is, if you've got a plastic water pipe and you've got this massive great big magnet there, then you're trying to magnetize the water as it's shooting past. And it would work with some but not with all, so you wouldn't get the full benefit. If you've got a copper pipe, you've got a massive magnet around the copper pipe, the whole of that pipe is magnetised. And that's what they used to do. That is what they used to do. And then what they did was they replaced all the copper piping with plastic pipes, and then now you have to buy the magnetic water softener, which then is electromagnetic, because you have to plug it in and it's plugged into the mains. Whereas if you've got a massive magnet on a copper pipe, it will automatically, it will raise the pH level, neutralize lots of those chemicals, and put them back into their natural state as it comes into the house. So that will be feeding your hot water, your cold water taps, your hot water tanks and whatever, your radiators, stops all the sludge in the radiators, well, stops most of the sludge in your radiators. You know, every house I ever go into, I've got it's a pet magnet. It's about that big, and it's got rounded edges, but it's something that you put into like a horse water bucket or a dog bowl, water bowl, and whatever. And what it's done so that it's not easy to pick up. And what I do is I get one or two of them and I throw it in the tanks in the roof, in the loft. Because what it does is it helps to magnetise the waters that are in the actual tanks. So you know, the cold water and the hot water tank up there that feeds through, it comes through magnetised. So and then what I also do, if I have an immersion tank in the house, like I had in my last one, then you get the wrapper. You know, you get like it's like a jacket for it to keep the heat in. So, and then all of your hot water and your heating is actually, the water's heated up inside this massive great big water cylinder with this jacket around it, and then it gets fed out from there. And then what I did was I got some of the magnet sticks and I put them on the inside of the jacket all the way around, because the water cylinder is made of either metal or copper. I think it's copper. No, metal. no, copper. And basically, yeah, you magnetise around it, it conducts it, and the same thing goes. It just means that you don't get the sludge, you know, and the calcification in the heating system. So it helps to keep it running more smoothly, which is quite a good idea for the sake of a few quid. I mean, magnet sticks are £25, I think. I've got them dotted all around the house. I've got magnetic coasters. You can get we do, I think they're about £45 or something like that, and you get a pack of 4, but they're cork. And basically, yeah, exactly the same as the other ones. I've got metal coasters that are £37 each, or £39 each, I think they are now. And then you've got the cork coasters, but you get 4 for like 40 odd pound. I've got them dotted all the way around. I've got them on window ledges, especially where I am at the moment. I've got them all the way along the window ledges. I've got them under my water bottle, or the where I put my cup by the side of the bed. You know, everything I have is magnetised. UV is a good bacteria killer too. Yes, it is, but you know, with the amount of water coming through the house, it'd be difficult to sort of UV it, all the water as it comes through. Not impossible, but yeah, possible. It's I just find that magnets, you can get, I mean, you don't even have to buy the magnets that I do. The magnets that I do are neodymium, which means they last forever. So, you know, you could go and get yourself some hematite, which are magnetic stones, and then you can use them, but mine are just more functional and easier to use. But you've got, I mean, there's magnets. You can get like 4,000-5,000 Gauss magnets. I mean, what I'd like to do is get the little magnets, you know, 2,000 Gauss each, and then have them dotted so that it's around the whole house in the walls, so it helps to offset some of the EMF smog and stuff like that. It just makes for a better quality of the air, the vibrations in the air, the you know, it sounds really weird, but it just, if you sit on or lay on a magnet mattress, then it makes you feel so much better, even though you're not lying directly on a magnet. So people fish with magnets, they're cheaper and very strong. Poor fish. But I stopped fishing years ago. My passion for fishing went out the window when my granddad died. So my granddad and my nan used to take me fishing, and yeah, that was interesting times. I still can't can't touch the maggots. Yeah, no, can't do it. Stuff in ponds. Oh yeah. Well, no, I had a lot of people who've got ponds in their back garden with problems with the you know, the algae, and they buy 4 or 5 of the ones, the pet ones like that. They're £29, and they buy, you know, 100 quid's worth basically, and then throw them in different parts, because it's a huge amount of water, and then basically the algae would go away over the course of a few weeks, because what it does is it raises the pH level of the water, and algae thrives in a acidic environment. So, you know, but you do it with your fish tanks. You know, you've got this tester thing, so you test the pH level of the water, and if it's too acidic, you've got to drop some alkaline in it, or throw a bloody magnet in there, and don't worry about it. Just when you are replacing the water, magnetise it before it gets put in there, and then you're never going to have a situation where the magnetic pH, or the pH level of the water, will be acidic as it's being poured in. Just drop a magnet in the bottom of a bucket, leave the bucket overnight, and then you've got to let it sit anyway before you put it into the fish tank. Deb and Steve, I've got silver plates in my water butts. Yeah, that can work. Throw the magnet in on a lump of rope and see what they can pull out. Bikes, saves. Oh, guns. Yeah, no, I get it. Oh well. Well, you just learned something else new. But beer fishing is fun. Tie a beer on the line, toss it in to get cold, reel it in, drink it, repeat. Do you know what? When I used to go fishing with my dad, I used to go just to sit with him and one of my ex-boyfriends. And basically I'd go because there was always beers in the keep net. So they'd do the fishing, I'd sit there quietly. And then basically I would just sit there with the beers. That's my type of heaven. I'm perfectly happy sitting on a riverbank watching somebody else do the fishing while I drink beer, sit back and watch the world go by. Got to get dinner. Thanks, Boo. Keep up the great work. Yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, shit. Look. Right. I've been on for far too long. 100 minutes. Wow, hour and 40. Sorry. You know, I get caught up. You know me. Smash those likes, please. 22 people in. I think I had 25 people in at one point. So, Dave says, love you all. Joshua says, yep, the secret to fishing isn't the fish. Beer for the win. Oh, yes. Mari says, I use my magnet stick in my wine. I use my magnet bracelet over the bottle of wine. And I also put it onto a coaster. How you doing, Mari? I think you've come back in just in time for me to leave. Now you haven't got long enough yet. I think it's plenty long enough there, Tony. Thank you. Plus the fact I haven't had my dinner yet either. So I am... And I've got to have an early night because I'm back to work tomorrow. So, smash the thumbs up. Are all magnet sticks the same? Yes, they are. They're all the same strength. They just look all different. So you can have like a 4-leaf clover. You've got Tree of Life there. I like the Tree of Life. I also like the hummingbird. That's one of my favourites. So, night everybody. So I'm going to say good morning, good evening, good afternoon or good night, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe. Make sure that you take lots of vitamin C with zinc and keep your immune system up. Quinine might help with the coronavirus, and just make sure that you stay positive. And I will monetize my channel, and sometime next week I will start to do this new thing. I've got to think of a name for it, and it'll be, I don't know, positive day 1 or whatever I'm going to call it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Please try the 528 hertz. Yes, everyone, 528 hertz, and then we'll have a feedback session next time that I'm on. Give me a couple of days, I'll get everything sorted. I've got to try and get to grips with the laptop now. So anyway, I'll see you later. All right then, take care. Bye, bye, bye. Please toss ZERP or BTC address in the description. Oh, I don't need, no, I don't need people to pay me for what I'm doing. It's one of those things that, you know, if YouTube will pay me, then I'm happy for that. I'm not asking people to pay me for what I do. It's I just need to try and build up so that I can make donations easy for me. Tipbot. There you go. But yeah, I'll go in and update it. I need to find a way of setting everything up. But I've got to think this one through. Gonna think it through. Give me a couple of days and I'll get it all sorted. But anyway, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.